Hi, welcome to the Crypto Republic. Before we begin today, if you're serious about staying ahead in this once-in-a-lifetime financial shift, make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. Hello, XRP Army, and welcome back to the Crypto Republic, your go-to channel for the latest high-energy updates in digital assets. Before we get started with today's business, make sure to smash that like button, ring that bell, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. Bringing you updates every day at 9 a.m., noon, and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Crypto Republic. And in this morning's video, this one's important. Not hype important, reality important. Because what's coming next in these markets, we can't stop. We can't bargain with it. We can't negotiate with it. But we can prepare for it. And if you're holding XRP, if you're someone who's actually done the research, studied the infrastructure, followed the global liquidity story, then listen very carefully. Because what looks like destruction for the masses is positioning for us. The storm they are about to trigger. Look at the market right now. Everything's bleeding. Everything's pulling back. Every influencer suddenly switching their tone. But here's the truth. This isn't the collapse. It's the setup, ladies and gentlemen. The same setup we've seen 100 times throughout history. When Rome was about to shift, markets crashed. When the gold standard changed, markets crashed. When the internet rewired the economy, again, markets crashed. When every major monetary system upgrades, there is always a controlled demolition first. And now, you are living in one of those moments. They're not destroying the markets, ladies and gentlemen. They're resetting the scoreboard. And ones who benefits the most when the dust clears, not the tourists, not the gamblers, not the meme chasers, but the ones who held throughout the engineered pain. The ones who stayed calm while others panicked. The ones who understood the long-term thesis. The red candles that break weak hands. People see red candles and think chaos. I see structure. I see preparation. I see the same pattern we've seen over and over again. Every single time retail gets excited, every single time people think this is it, this is the run, smart money pulls the lever and resets the field. When I started my career on the floor of the New York Mercantile Exchange in Building 7, I remember walking onto that floor as if it was the floor of the Colosseum in Rome. The screaming, the yelling, the excitement. And I remembered something that was told to me very carefully. The bell will ring each day, no matter what. The most important thing you can do is to have a plan, to have a strategy. Because if you don't have a plan or a strategy, what are you really doing here and why? This is more about mechanics. So I guess I got to pay this forward now. This one's for you, George, for everything you told me. Here's where the Stoic mindset comes in. Stoics knew one thing, truth. You cannot control events. You can only control your response. The markets will tank. We can't stop it. Your reaction, that's where your power is. Foundations don't disappear because of fear. Let's remind ourselves. Does a temporary red candle erase ODL growth? Liquidity corridors? Expanding? Global partnerships stacking? Institutions setting up infrastructure? A market-wide shift towards real utility? Absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen, no. None of that disappears because the charts took a dip or a beating. The fundamentals remain. The infrastructure remains. The use case remains. The global need remains. This is where the emotional investor will fold. Think. The Stoics, the disciplined ones, they quietly accumulate. The trap they set and why it backfires long term. Every cycle, the story is the same. They push fear. They trigger liquidation cascades. Retail will panic. Market drops. Narratives shift. And then, right when everyone's emotionally exhausted, they flip the switch. Same playbook since the stock market of the 1920s. Same blueprint used in the British bond collapses. Same pattern seen all throughout the 1970s monetary rewiring. Ladies and gentlemen, the old system cracks. The new system gets plugged in. And you want to know the hilarious part? The people who told you to panic, the people who told you XRP was dead, finished, they're the same ones quietly buying behind the scenes. The last time this happened in history screams a lesson. Let's look back at the early days of the internet. In 1999, companies with real fundamentals, nobody cared. Everybody chased hype. Everybody chased noise. Everyone was blinded by euphoria. Then the crash hit. People called the internet a failure. People walked away. People said it was over. But the ones who stayed, the ones who focused on fundamentals, they didn't just win, ladies and gentlemen. They inherited the entire future. Let this thing sink in for a second. History is repeating itself right now. Crypto is replaying the same cycle. And XRP is standing in the exact position Amazon, Google were during the dot-com crash. Not hype, not speculation, utility, infrastructure, real-world integration. So the stoic mindset that builds wealth. Look, pressure only hurts when you're unprepared. Fear only controls the ones who haven't done the work. But you've studied this ecosystem. You've learned about liquidity, corridors, settlement engines, tokenization. Most people spend more time scrolling TikTok than understanding the thing they're investing in. But not you. Stoics weren't emotional. They weren't impulsive. They weren't shaken by temporary storms. They saw storms as nature, and they prepared for them calmly, quietly, intentionally. This moment right now, ladies and gentlemen, this bleeding market, this is fear. This is your battlefield. This is your preparation. This is where the strong hands are forged. The manipulation isn't the enemy. It's the map, ladies and gentlemen. We always say the markets are manipulated. But here's the truth. Manipulation is nothing more than direction. It shows you what the big players want. When they push fear, it means they're accumulating. When they tank the market, it means they're loading the spring. When they shake out retail, it means they're preparing the runway. You have two choices. You can react like the crowd, panic like the crowd, sell like the crowd, or you can read the map and hold your position. What I'm doing right now, the charts look terrible. Everything looks like it's unwinding. And that's exactly why I'm calm, cool, and collected. Because I'm not chasing short-term noise. I'm not trying to time the exact bottom or catch a falling knife. I'm not betting my emotions on a 4-hour candles. Here's what I'm doing. I'm preparing for volatility. I'm setting strategic entries. I'm staying patient. I'm watching structure, not drama. I'm refusing to get shaken out of long-term convictions. We cannot stop what's coming, but we can prepare. The moment people will regret walking away, there will come a day soon where people look back and say, I can't believe I sold. I can't believe I panicked. I can't believe I doubted the fundamentals. This industry is moving towards one thing, ladies and gentlemen: global liquidity automation, payments, cross-border corridors, tokenized value moving instantly, and the assets positioned to serve that role? Yeah, you already know. So the victory after the wreckage. I want you to understand something deeply. I need you to understand this. They can tank the markets, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. They can shake out retail. They can create fear. They can delay events. They can distract the masses. But they cannot stop innovation. They cannot stop progress. They cannot stop the shift to digital value. And that's why we win. Not because of hype. Not because of speculation. Not because we feel bullish. but because the infrastructure being built requires assets like XRP. So here's the final motivational I have for you. You didn't come this far to fold now. You didn't study utility for nothing. You didn't survive the red candles of the past just to quit before the payoff. Every cycle has a breaking point, and every breaking point rewards the ones who stayed calm. Stoics have a saying, endure and transform. You're enduring right now, and what's coming next is transformation. Not just of the markets, not just of the financial system, but of your entire perspective. So this is to the ones who stayed steady throughout the storm, to the ones who saw the bigger picture when others chased noise, to the ones who chose discipline over dopamine. You stood your ground, you held your vision, and while the market shakes and the crowd panics, you remain calm, clear, grounded, because you know the truth. They can break the candles, but they can't break the math. They can crash the chart, but they can't crash utility. They can shake the market, but they can't shake the future. To the ones who understand, to the ones who refuse to fold, to the ones who see what's coming before the world wakes up, we can't stop what's coming, but we're prepared. And on the other side of this storm, we win. I hat tip everybody. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as financial advice. Always do your own research, ladies and gentlemen, and consult a licensed financial advisor before making investment decisions. Remember, the game is changing, and those who understand it first will benefit the most. Make sure you're on the right side of it. You have two choices. You can be like the crowd, reacting after the move, rationalizing why they missed it, telling themselves they'll never let it happen again, or you can be the one who saw behind the curtain, the one who understood the infrastructure shift, the one who positioned early, not randomly, but intentionally. Because some moments in history are loud, but the ones that change everything are quiet right up until the moment they're not. And this is one of those moments. Do not blink, because the world is distracting you with noise, while XRP continues developing behind the scenes and building momentum in the broader digital asset landscape. Stay sharp, stay informed, accumulate knowledge. Your move now will be remembered. This is not the end of the story. This is just the beginning. This opened your eyes. Smash that like button, ring that bell, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Turn on notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the Crypto Republic. We break down the major global banking trends shaping digital assets today, giving you context, clarity, and research you can use. Don't just watch history happen. Stay informed, stay ahead, and stay in the Republic.